70 years since independence, we could have done a lot more. I trained in St. John's Medical College, one of the best medical college, but I wanted to do higher training in 1970s. But the system was not there. Somehow we didn't teach for our generations, pride is so important. But my view is, why should we lure talent? Why can't we retain this talent here? I decided I don't want any help from abroad. Let us do with the Indian talent itself. Make India great again is so important to create an ecosystem, a soil in our own country, so people don't see need to go abroad. Hello everyone. Today I am going to talk about what can make India great again. If you look at a period before British started ruling India, our GDP, 25 to 35% of the world. We are one of the largest economies in the world. I know today it is hard to believe such an India existed, but it truly existed. It is not fiction, it is reality. But what happened? When few thousands, small island like England, ruled over India for 200 years, we were looted, our GDP fell to near zero, we became, in the eyes of the world, a poor country. And to top it all, we became subservient to the West. We developed this white man syndrome, where we thought white person is superior. And with the population we were post-independence, we did some good things. We were democracy, we were a secular country, which was very important, and we brought a lot of harmony and peace. In fact, people thought there would be famine. If you talk to Britishers in that area or read what they wrote, they thought India is finished after they left. They were the ones, some of the statements from Churchill and all, they said these fellows are the country is going to deteriorate. But we didn't. We showed some guts, some pride in saying that we'll come out of it. Green Revolution, famine was not there. What they predicted. In my own time, I remember in 1960s and 70s, all the articles were about famine in India. But today, I'm very happy to say we are the largest exporter of rice, one of the largest exporter of wheat, sugar. We have really done well by some standards. But I feel in 70 years since independence, we could have done a lot more. Why I say that is because even today, we lack that pride. And for example, you look at countries like China. Their GDP was equal to India in 1990s. What has happened? 18 to 20 trillion dollar economy, second largest in the world. Western world fears them. How did China do that? Can we take a leaf out of it? We created, by the way, universities, IITs. We did some of the things in a very thoughtful way. But somehow we didn't teach for our generations, pride is so important. You look at, for example, cities in India today. There is unorganized urban growth. There is filth, garbage, roads stuck. Roads are not well done. There is huge traffic, population growth. How can this create pride when we see such things? Don't you think the first thing we have to do is to create clean cities, environmental, to take pride in ourselves? Of course, we have done good thing. We have taken pride in ourselves by building beautiful airports, which is very important. The private enterprise has partnered and done this. If you look at Bangalore airport, is one of the finest in the world. Best compared to even major cities abroad. Is an envy of others. We can take examples like this. We have colleges like IITs, we have Indian Institute of Science, hospitals like AIIMS, good training sources. But what happens to these people who train? Most of them follow and go abroad. And most of them become phenomenal people abroad. Like if you look at IBM, Microsoft, Google, Adobe, World Bank are all run by Indians, trained in these prestigious institutions. So the question comes up, why can't we retain this talent here? Or the talent remains here, why can't we showcase that and create an ecosystem, a soil, whereby they're attracted to stay in India itself rather than go abroad? What about the rural talent? I run a school in a remote area called Mullur. If you look at these children, they're so hungry to learn, but we don't give them the opportunity. Bright kids, very bright kids, of course, will come out, but we don't give them the opportunity to do independent thinking, create their own R&D, create innovations, startups. We are lacking in this. And that is why people look forward to going abroad. I myself is an example of that. If you look at me, I trained in St. John's Medical College, one of the best medical college, but I wanted to do higher training in 1970s. But the system was not there. Majority of my class moved to US or England. I went and trained in one of the most prestigious institutions in oncology and stayed there for 28 years. But when I started looking at India in 1980s, wide disparity in healthcare, I said I have to come back and do something. Planned it, came back in 2000, but I decided I don't want any help from abroad. Let us do with the Indian talent itself. 90% of our doctors today in HCG are Indian trained. I'm very proud of them. And today HCG is now become a center of excellence with academia, research, providing the best of quality care, equal or surpassing even the center I trained, MD Anderson, in terms of outcome. I am very proud of it because I've been able to do with the Indian talent itself. There are multiple examples like this where Indian institutions have done on their own and developed systems, but it is not enough. And we have to provide an ecosystem. Recently I read a social media on Venki Ramakrishnan, who was a Nobel laureate, and he says why India is not ready for research, academia, development. Because he said in that headline, we cannot lure scientists from abroad. I take a different view. Why he has good intention? But my view is, why should we lure talent? People, our talent is going from here abroad and running these major institutions. We don't have to lure talent. We have to keep our talent here. That is why I say Make India Great Again is so important to create an ecosystem, a soil in our own country, so people don't see need to go abroad. Look at the instance where illegally from India people are going abroad. By some account there are nearly 800,000 illegally in US, and recently they were chained, some of them, and brought to India by US. What a shameful experience. They were chained. We should stop these kind of instances. We should also create an environment where people don't find a need to go abroad illegally. I talked to a Punjabi person in US who had come illegally. I said, why have you come? He said, doctor, you don't understand what we go through. And he said, you are from South. South is like a developed country. We don't know what hardship we face. Let us understand their hardship. Let us spend part of our GDP in this. Let us make sure there is an environment, ecosystem where their ideas Their entrepreneurship is cherished rather than they look forward to going abroad. Friends, I think all this boils down to one critical thing: pride in yourself. I'll keep coming back to this pride. How do we create an ecosystem so that people like staying back in India? Let us look at some of the answers. If you create pride from all generations of population, child, this is what I saw in US in 1970s. When I went, I always wondered why this country has become advanced. My children went to school there, primary school, middle school. The pride level was very high. We are the greatest. We can do everything. We don't need anybody's help. That has to be inculcated in our children at the right time. How will the children feel if you encourage garbage, if you encourage filth? You always talk negative about the country. They'll say, man, why should I be in this country? How would the children feel if you encourage corruption? In my view, corruption is when people take money, they lack the pride. In US, one of the amazing things I found is there is no corruption at low class, middle class. Only at high-end level there may be, but not at all level, because people take pride. I asked a lady once in a real estate, he said, doctor, for you to register your real estate or something value, we come to your home and register. You don't have to go anywhere because it is a pride issue. We are happy you're registering your house. It is a business environment. Look at the way corruption exists here at all levels. How can children take pride in it? So we have to, I know this present generation, maybe we can't redeem it, but let us at least attack the future generations and develop across India a cadre of children, people in schools, universities, high schools, everywhere. Focus on this. What is ethics? What is standard? What is pride? Why you should take pride in yourself? Why you should take pride in cleaning your environment, cleaning your surroundings? Why you should have clean cities? Why you should not have garbage? Let us start from that. That itself may be enough for us to make people stay in India itself. Not only that, actually that can even incentivize people from abroad to come to India, even not only Indian origin, even others. Like we are of Indian origin, we go abroad to US. Like that, why not US origin, European origin come to India? That may, because we have such wealth of knowledge in this country. You look at the medical field, for example. When I started HCG, we said we are okay with cobalt treatment for radiation. It was phased out all over the world in Western countries. I asked, why is it we are doing? The head of a prestigious institution in India said, we still need cobalt because we are a poor country. See, if you start thinking you are a poor country, man, you will be a poor country forever. What did I do? I went to the Canadian government and asked them, no single Canadian is getting cobalt. Why are you making cobalt manufacturing? Poor countries need. It was such an inferior treatment. It not only radiates tumor, but it radiates even normal tissue. And people used to dread the treatment because they thought treatment is worse than disease. That is why disease like cancer got a bad name. There are so many instances like that. What I did was, I don't care. Cancer doesn't know rich from poor. It has to be treated only one way, right, the first time. So I took upon this and not only put up linear accelerators in Bangalore, but in Shivamogga, in Angol, in Ranchi, in Vijayawada, Vizag, Nasik. Across India we became a trendsetters to do this kind of a transformation. And what is it today? Others have followed. And today I am very happy to say Linacs is become the norm in India. PET scans have become norm. And with this, we are able to provide, as I stated before, highest quality of care to the patients. The other day, one of the prominent lawyer firm wrote to me. He said, "Doctor, I had this experience in Sweden. I took my family. They did this kind of treatment and we want to do that in India." I said, "Mr. So-and-so, I won't use a name, please come and visit us." He is coming next month. I told him on the phone yesterday, what way? He said, "Really? You have cyberknife, you have Marlinac, you have all this. How come we don't know genetic?" So part of the problem is people don't know what we have. People are not understanding what we have and not taken pride in ourselves to train here. So compared to 1970s when I went abroad, maybe there was a reason, maybe not. Maybe I should have stayed back, but I came back and did all this. But today there is absolutely, in my view, no need. There is technology available. India is in the forefront of AI, forefront of startups, forefront of medical technology. There are a lot of research going on. We could expand. But one word of caution here. Support. Government has to spend more money on healthcare, research. Dismal money, as Venki Ramakrishnan said, rightly so in that article. Dismal amount is being spent. Not even 0.1 or 2% on research. They have to spend. Or encourage private enterprise to incentivize them to spend. For example, they can say, what is your pet project you want to spend on an educational institution? I will give you tax exemption for that. If you want to spend 100 crores, you don't have to pay tax on that. So let them encourage private enterprises to do these things. You look at the private enterprise today, some of them are famous technology institutions. What are they? Body shoppers. What about pharmacy? Pharma companies are doing very good, listed companies, but dismal research. You ask them why, they say our quarter-to-quarter numbers. They are great in copycats. A drug is produced abroad. After they go patent, man, we really flood the market with generic drugs. But do we have any original drug? If you don't make your original drug, how can you develop pride in yourself? How can you develop pride? We wait for the Westerns to develop new drug, copycat it when allowed and produce. That is not the way we want to go forward. Take the difficult route. Take the difficult path. And let us put together a group of pharma scientists, group of chemists together and develop our own drugs. India has been the hallmark of, we talk about Ayurveda. We talk about so much of Ayurveda medicine, yoga. Why can't we create this kind of a research institute? There are some, but they have not gone into the depth. Suppose we say Ayurveda drug works, medicine. Do we know the active ingredient? I will give you an outstanding example. There was a plant in sub-Himalayan region. A Britisher was walking and he saw a woman using that leaf of the plant to reduce tumors in the abdomen. It's called yew tree. He took it abroad, investigated, developed an active ingredient called taxane. And from that they made synthetic drug. I was personally involved in using from the plant in 1970s and early 80s. Then the pharma companies made it a chemical component of that. Today it is a blockbuster. I don't know how many billions they have earned. It is an Indian sub-Himalayan plant, people. Why can't we do that? Why can't we investigate that and see what are the plants which traditionally used? Can we create active ingredients and become number one in drug production? We have opportunities today with AI, genomics, proteogenomics, what HCG is going into. We can be the research institute of the world. But when we talk with companies, major companies, We can invite foreign pharma to come and partner with us. Nobody talks about inviting Indian pharma to partner with us. Why is that? Either we don't have pride in ourselves, or we don't think Indian pharma is capable, or we think Indian pharma will not invest in it. We need to look into this. I myself have talked to various pharma companies, Indian, and their lack of interest is primarily because there is no revenue for them for the first few years. For example, when we make a new drug, yes, billions and billions of dollars are spent. That is why the cost of drugs becomes high. And when you look at the media in India, everybody talks about cost. Recently, somebody wrote an article, private enterprise, cost, everything. Man, look at what is being spent to get this technology, what is being spent for the development of drugs, and look at the impact it has had on various diseases like cancer, cardiovascular. Amazing impact. People are living longer. Nutrition is good. Even in India today, poverty level has improved. And infant mortality, maternal mortality has come down. Cancer incidence may be going up, but people are living longer. For example, you look at lung cancer. With proper treatment, people are living, even with advanced disease, 8 to 10 years. It was unthinkable 5 years ago. But all this development is happening in the West. We are only followers. We copycat, we follow. There is no individual research. When I ask our doctors, we are getting into research, I'm pushing for that, now I'm in charge of research and academic. But when we ask the doctors, first thing they say is, Doctor, sir, where is the evidence? Don't you have to create evidence? Evidence is a moving target. They don't get it. They think somebody has to give them evidence from, Massachusetts or California somewhere or Cambridge, and then they have to take that and do it. So it has become the mindset of the people has to change. And this is what training is not happening in medical colleges, in schools, in university. This kind of training is not happening. One day, a university dean, at an inauguration, I was a speaker for a graduation ceremony. In his introductory speech, he said, students, work hard, train hard, get good marks so you can all go to prestigious universities abroad. In my talk, I said, I know the dean said this, but I only request the dean, wish he would have said, work hard, stay in India and develop India. He didn't say that. Go and develop that country. You go to the major institutions, MIT, for example, in Boston. Who do you see working there, man? It is all Indians. In my own instance, I can tell you at MD Anderson, when I was a senior fellow, we did a lot of work. So our professor, head of the department, can get a lot of credit. They know how to extract. By some terminology, I will use some controversial terms now. In the US, there was slavery. Then there was railroad building. They didn't have the means, human means. They brought in Chinese to build the roads, to build the railroads. So technology they have. Who did the scut work? They brought in Indians and Chinese. So I call them very controversial, modern day coolies. I went to US as a doctor to work there. I worked there for a while after training. In a way, a sophisticated modern day coolie only. But I learnt a lot. I've come back and put that into effect. So what I would like to say is, we today don't need to go abroad. Particularly when we are not treated well. People, take pride in yourself and understand the situation and see the wealth of knowledge you can find. I will give you another example of my own children. They are all born in US. they are of course Indians, origin. Honestly, none of them want to be in US. They love India. They love to be here. They want to be entrepreneurs here. They want to do things here. So today the game has changed. Maybe it will take us some time to understand this game has changed. We in India can take pride of ourselves. We can make our country great. IAS officers created. You have a bureaucrat today who is in charge of railways, metro. 2 months later, he is supposed to be an expert teaching others. 2 months later, he is in charge of healthcare. A country can never prosper like this. We need experts, technocrats. A minister today is in charge of, let us say it, IT. He is in charge of education. Some of the ministers don't even have education degrees. They are in charge of education. World is moving very fast. If you look at cancer itself, technology in that, every 90 days it is changing. You need experts in each field. That is what China did. Developed their own expertise, brought people from abroad also, lured them who came voluntarily, and made sure that these kind of technocrats were placed to develop the country. Look at deep AI in China. People are worried about it. People think they are going to overtake all the new technology which has been developed in US. Look at the drug development in China, aviation technology, cars are competitive. Their electric cars are most competitive in the world. They are giving fear to cars like Tesla and BMWs and others. How has this nation developed in 25 years? Take a page out of it. Develop the pride in yourselves, and we are far more capable than them. So let us come back to fundamentals. Let us take pride in ourselves. Create a nation of pride, urban, rural, so people look at India as a growing country, stay here and develop. People from major universities, IITs and others, should they take taxpayers' money, people? They should be made to stay in India for a specific period of time. Work on these science projects, innovate and come up with ideas in all fields, not just medical or engineering, AI, in all fields, auto, everything. I think with this, we can fast track and become a developed country. Do you know 90% of the population pay tax in individual tax in a country, in a European country and in US, close to that. You know how many percentage of people pay tax in India? Individual tax, income tax, not even 2.5%. How can this country prosper? How can we spend more money on education and health? We have to reorganize ourselves. We have to think deeply on this. We have to put together a team of private, public people, not bureaucrats to make a decision. It is at high time bureaucrats are out of it. They have to be trained to become technocrats who can work in only one field if we still want bureaucrats. We cannot follow the old British system. We have to reorganize 70 years now and make India new again. I know the present government talks big about it. They are doing certain things, but not enough. We want universal health care. Rich or poor can get the same health care, same thing, irrespective of what is their economic status. Rich or poor children should get the same type of education. Rural, urban, doesn't matter. They should get the same education. We should bridge the gap of this kind of wealth gap. There is enormous billionaires in India, multimillionaires, and very low income people. We should bridge the gap. We should create model villages, model schools, and train people so that across the country we have good infrastructure, good roads, no filth in the streets, clean cities, good environment, good breathing air, and we have good education system, health care, and this is what will make us an advanced country. So for me, to sum it all up and close this, first part of my discussion on this. Take pride in yourself. That is a strong message I want to get. Next podcast, we will bring some people with knowledge on this, maybe controversial, maybe who disagree with me, those who have done some work in this field, scientists, doctors, educationists, entrepreneurs will bring on the podcast, discuss this matter in detail and see how we can become an influencer. And influencer can happen only through you guys. So follow this and you create your own podcast, do things so that this can have a multiplier effect. Thank you very much.